Hey guys, thanks for checking out Quick Sessions Podcast. My name is Garrett Terrio, coming to you from Houston, Texas, inside Timberline Fitness, and today we're going to talk about balance, and not work-life balance or anything like that, but core stability, why it's important, why we lose it, and how it affects our weightlifting routine. Now, let's get started with the basics of balance. It's maintained by the vestibular system, right? It's a small organ in the inner ear, and when the organ is damaged or just deteriorates over time, it affects your balance. And the two main ways it does it is through external substances or aging, right? Aging is the basic one that we just have to live with. The external substances are drugs and alcohol and things like that would make you dizzy. So the aging process is the one most of us will have to deal with, all of us, right? And anything like inner ear problems, visual impairment, brain issues, muscle weakness, peripheral neuropathy, any of those things that happen will impair your balance. But for the sake of this podcast and for the sake of what I care about when I think about balance, we're going to talk about balance in the sense of your body's imbalance. And it's something I've been dealing with lately, just as I'm getting older. You don't have nearly as much time in the gym. And what I mean by that is when you're a young man or woman, you can go to the gym every day, you can run, you may participate in some city league sports or intramural sports or something like that. And you're a very, very well-rounded, well-balanced individual. Here's the kicker though, and it's by no means an excuse, it's just kind of a life happens and then imbalance happens. Specifically muscular imbalance. And now you're going to the gym 3 or 4 times every day, right? And that's still pretty good for most people. But what I'm getting at is you're not as young and strong as you once were. You may be physically stronger now, but you're by no means out and about as much. Your body doesn't recover as quickly as it used to. You're probably not doing as many different things because now you have a job. You may have a family. You may have kids. Whatever it is, your priorities have shifted. So now what I'm finding is that in order to maintain good balance, and remember, we're not talking about standing on one foot balance, we're talking about muscular balance, with the point being to avoid injury. What I'm finding is that you have to work all these, they're not nonsense muscles, but these small muscles throughout your body that you were able to take for granted as you were younger. Perfect example that I can bring up is guys and their bench press. We've all joked around about Monday being International Bench Press Day and things like that, but it's not that far off from being the truth. Most guys enjoy bench press. They feel like that is the lift that makes them feel the strongest. I know squats is more weight, but everyone kind of likes to get under there, press the weight. You can see it in your chest right after. You see it when you look in the mirror, and it just feels good. Feels good when you can crank out a lot of weight or a lot of numbers of something, gets your heart rate going. It's just a great exercise, and just about everybody does it. Well, what happens now that you're not in the gym every day is, let's say you go into the gym, you get bench press on a Monday. Well, that's great, but what if you can't get in on Tuesday or Wednesday? The Thursday rolls around and you got a lot of stuff to do, right? So maybe you try to jam it all in. And you can do legs and back and shoulders all in one day, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But does your back routine balance out your chest routine, right? Are your shoulders healthy enough and flexible enough to where your chest and your back aren't just pulling on them? And that over time is where imbalances happen. Now, going back to core stability, it is all kind of related. Now, I know I just went kind of a roundabout way of getting to this point, but as you age, you lose core stability. It just happens. Even with all the visual impairment and all that kind of stuff I brought up earlier, your core is just going to get weaker. You're not using it as much. You're not playing sports anymore. You're not doing all these different kind of activities that force your core to contract. And if you don't believe me, go out and try to play a flag football game right now. I play basketball every week, sometimes twice a week. If I go out there right now, I guarantee you inner thighs sore, obliques are sore, abs are sore, lower back's probably sore. And it's not that I'm out of shape or anything like that. It's just something you're not used to doing. You're not used to having to turn quickly or react to anything urgently multiple times in a short period of time. And that lack of core strength, what I'm calling it, at the very least doesn't help with making sure your back and front of your body are balanced. And at the most, it leaves you susceptible to muscle strains and things like that. Because getting your back and chest perfectly balanced with each other is borderline impossible, right? Somehow it's going to be off. Maybe not enough to hurt you. But no matter what, no one's 100% each way. Or exactly 50-50 as far as muscular symmetry. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the term I'm looking for is, but as much as I try to figure out how to correct all these imbalances, I can really only come up with a couple pieces of advice to give out. And it's through my own practice and through the advice of others. And the number one thing is to perform what I call therapy exercises. Specifically, the exercises that control the center of your back. The center of your back, and I'm not talking about your lats. I'm not talking about the big old pieces of meat behind you. I'm talking about the middle, the muscles that run down your spine. The postural muscles, the whole posterior chain, really. But specifically, the rhomboids, the middle and lower trapezius. These muscles, because of lack of attention and because of lifestyle of sitting at desks and typing on your phone, maybe slouching on the couch, watching TV, this muscle gets neglected, poor posture, really jacks it up, and it needs to be worked out. And dedicating a bunch of time to your lower trapezius muscle doesn't sound like, number one, your best use of time, even though it is very useful. But taking the time to just target that is something that can very easily slip your attention. So that's one thing, getting with a chiropractor or a physical therapist and figuring out a small routine you can add to every single workout. I do Y raises before every workout and during every single workout, no matter what body part I am working that day. It could be legs, chest, arms, shoulders, back, doesn't matter. I'm doing these Y raises to make sure that the muscles that line my spine are warmed up and ready to maintain posture, no matter what I'm doing. The second thing is bringing the core back into it. Now, by core, I don't mean abdominals. I mean everything. I mean the inner outer obliques. I mean the lower back, the middle back, inner thigh, glutes, abdominals, of course. But bringing it all back together. Because the one thing that gets left out a lot are calves and abs. People throw them in at the end of workouts and they get forgotten because you get tired and that's it. Or you'll do 100 crunch ups, say, all right, yeah, that's probably enough. But it's just not, especially as you get older. When you were young, maybe it was. But as you get older, once you hit that 30-year-old benchmark, it's just not enough. It's just something you have to dedicate time to. And as vanilla as this sounds, things like planks or core stabilizers are great. Just get in and hold it as long as you can. Do it correctly. Hold your abs. And what that is going to do, along with squats are another one that definitely need to be done forever, is it creates intra-abdominal pressure. And as long as you can maintain intra-abdominal pressure, you will be able to maintain a strong core, strong posture, and help offset some of those muscular imbalances that you'll be experiencing as your routine changes and as you get older. So those are the first two pieces of advice: therapy moves for every workout and core training. The third piece is, I wouldn't say as necessary, but definitely still useful, and that is to test and push your equilibrium, right? There's these things called proprioceptors inside your muscles, your tendons, your joints, all this stuff. And along with your core, they help your body maintain balance while you change direction and position. This is something you should practice once you've taken care of your therapy, once you've taken care of your core training, because putting yourself into these situations, I call it being stable through the unstable. I use it with my golfers a lot and my baseball players a lot. Anyone that has to change directions while keeping a center point of gravity. And if you can get uncomfortable with the stability, that helps you with so many things. It helps you catch yourself when you slip. It helps you not throw your back out when you're turning in your chair to pick something up. It helps you quickly rotate and grab something if a foul ball is about to hit your girlfriend. You turn real quick and you react and grab the ball. Those are just three examples I'm bringing up off the top of my head, but I guess you got to be standing for the last one to really make it something other than just reaction. But you get what I'm saying. It's being ready for the unexpected, being stable while unstable. Plenty of you travel up north, go skiing, you get on some ice, slip, catch yourself in the ice. As you get older, if you don't work on anything like that, you're just falling. And that's it. And it may be funny right now, but as you get older, that's really not. I can't tell you how many injuries I've received notice of a client of mine who's in Aspen or wherever people ski. I don't ski. Wherever people go and ski. And they slip and bruise their hip, even break their hip sometimes. So really, if you can start making a habit of just those 3 things, right? Some therapy moves, which just Google therapy to maintain good posture. I didn't talk about posture enough, but that is essentially why we do these therapy moves, to help the muscles that maintain good posture. Take your core training seriously. It doesn't have to be a ton of different moves. It just needs to be a couple moves each time, done with maximum effort, and then do a different type of move the next time, right? Definitely you need variety when you do your core training, because number 1, it'll keep you from being bored. Number 2, you just need it so that your core is stressed in different situations. And number 3, practice being stable while being unstable. The Bosu ball is great for that. Just stand on it and do some shoulder press. Go one leg on it. Do one leg and bend over, do some toe touches. Jump on the Bosu ball. Catch yourself. Any of that kind of stuff is great. That's about it for balance, guys. This was episode number 50, which, on a side note, on a personal note, this is exciting for me. My goal was to do 50 episodes in 6 months, with the greater goal being to 100 episodes in my first 12 months of doing this podcast. Anybody who's been listening, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, even if I haven't told you in a while. But if you're new to the podcast, please hit the Apple Pod Center, give it a nice 5-star rating, write a review if you got time, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Quick Sessions Podcast, and definitely check us out at www.quicksessionspodcast.com. Guys, I can't thank you enough for listening. I'll see you next time.